You're talking to people every day and it's still not real. Not the connection, not the conversations, not even the way you show up. And the worst part is you don't fully notice it happening because on the surface, everything looks fine. You have messages, you have conversations, you're interacting. But if you really stop for a second, when was the last time something someone said actually stayed with you? Not just passed through, stayed. And that's where it starts to feel off because you're constantly in contact, but almost never in connection. And this isn't just a small difference. This is where everything quietly breaks. Maybe you've noticed this without realizing it. You reply to people, you scroll, you react. You're technically there. But at the same time, you're not really in any of it. It's like your attention is split across 10 places at once. Half in the conversation, half somewhere else. And somehow that became normal. But here's where it gets weird. If your attention is always divided, then every interaction you have is incomplete. And if every interaction is incomplete, what does that do to your relationships? But that's not even the worst part. Because over time, you stop expecting depth. You get used to short replies, surface level conversations, low effort interaction, and at first it feels efficient, easy, comfortable, no pressure, no vulnerability, no risk. But that comfort comes at a cost, because if nobody is really seeing you, you slowly stop showing anything real. You start editing yourself, shortening your thoughts, filtering what you say before you even say it, and eventually you're not even aware you're doing it. And this is where things start to get dangerous, because now you're not just disconnected from other people. You're disconnected from parts of yourself. Think about that. If every version of you that shows up is incomplete, what happens to the parts that never get expressed? Where do they go? And the strange part is, you can feel it sometimes, usually when everything slows down, late at night, no notifications, no distractions, and suddenly it hits you. You've been around people all day, but it doesn't feel like you were with anyone. And that feeling is hard to explain. It's not just loneliness. It's more like something is missing that shouldn't be missing. But here's where most people get it completely wrong. They try to fix it the same way they created it. More messages, more scrolling, more interaction. But that just makes it worse because the problem was never the amount of interaction. It was the quality of attention. And attention is the one thing you don't fully control anymore. It's constantly being pulled. Notifications, content, algorithms. So even when you're talking to someone, you're not fully there. And that tiny gap is enough to break the entire connection, because real connection doesn't happen halfway. It requires full presence. And that's exactly what's disappearing. And this creates a kind of trap. You want deeper relationships, but everything around you is training you to avoid the conditions that create them. Slow conversations feel uncomfortable. Silence feels awkward. Depth feels like effort. So you default back to what's easy. Quick replies, short interactions, surface level connection, and the loop continues. Close to people, but never really with them. And think about this for a second. If this keeps going, what does connection even look like in the future? If nobody is fully present, can real relationships even exist the same way? Or do they slowly turn into something else? Something lighter, something easier, but also something less real. And this is the part nobody talks about. We didn't lose connection. We replaced it with something that looks the same, but doesn't feel the same. And the more you get used to that version, the harder it becomes to recognize what real connection even is. So when you finally experience it, a real conversation, a real moment where both people are actually there, it feels different, heavier, slower, almost uncomfortable at first, but also real in a way everything else isn't. And in that moment, you realize something. It was never about having more people. It was about having more presence. And once you see that, you start noticing everything differently. Every half conversation, every distracted interaction, every moment where you're there, but not really. And it becomes obvious. You're close to people, but not really connected. And maybe that's why it feels the way it does sometimes. Because deep down, you know the difference. You just don't experience it it enough to hold on to it, and the world you're in isn't built to give it to you. So you stay in the loop, talking, scrolling, replying, always near people, but never fully with them. And the scary part is, if you don't notice it, this just becomes your normal.